I guess I don't get to play the movement phase for 3 turns.
Overcharge the ion accelerator. It's time to forge the narrative.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Forge the Narrative. We are the Bell of Lost Souls podcast. I am your host today, Tanya Gates, and I'm here with Adam Camilleri. How are you doing, Adam?
G'day. Oh, I'm doing pretty good. In erstwhile leader winging his way towards ATC right now to compete with 4 other team members in the Slobodnoka of the North America.
And he's left quite possibly the 2 most unhinged members of this team in charge. So we're going to try our best to be on our best behavior.
Yeah, we'll see how we go without our handler. 2 little ADHD bunnies just trying to put together a show for Paul. But we
That's
have some exciting things to talk about. You were just in Edmonton at a fantastic convention where there was all sorts of events. You were TOing an event, in fact. And of course, we got lots of stuff to talk about 11th edition, in addition.
We do. And then Paul also has a little segment to go in between where he talks to one of the sponsors of the show, which honestly, I want to hear more about that because new edition launches must be crazy for game
Correct.
stores. And I want to hear more about that.
That is Discount Games, one of the sponsors of Forge a Narrative, and there's going to be a segment that Paul's pre-recorded in the middle of this between me and Tanya doing a couple of little segments. But firstly, how was Edmonton? How'd you go?
Edmonton was great. This is my 3rd year going to GameCon, and this year, like all the others, I was a tournament organizer for the Play on Tabletop narrative event, which is something that's really unique. It's really fun. I really haven't seen anything like it because it almost takes the game that we love, Warhammer 40K, but mixes in elements of role-playing because we've got different tournament organizers in character who, when you complete objectives or even if we just feel like it, will come over to your table and just create entropy, mess things up a little bit. We might blow up terrain. We might switch around units on the table, like make them teleport. We might do all sorts of weird, wacky things. And people always seem to have a really great time at this event. And I'm so happy to be a part of it.
I think that sounds awesome. What are you saying? Like somebody in Adeptus Mechanicus outfit walks past and just like drops a little template and they're like, rad bomb, just walks off, doesn't explain, doesn't say anything, just like, yep, rad bomb, don't go there anymore. And then move on.
Yeah. And so there's custom missions that people are playing through. That's one way that you can get points because this is actually a team event. There's 4 different teams and you're trying to get points for your team to advance your particular story. So that's one way that you can get points. Another way that you can get points is we give everybody these secret objective cards. And so you complete your objectives and then you get points for that as well. But tournament organizers have like decoy cards that have nothing on them and we'll just slip those to people. And cool. They might I think there's one that says like this card doesn't actually have anything on it. Make stuff up at the table, eat the card, like rip it up, do whatever you want. Just make your opponent question your sanity, basically. So there's all sorts of like red herrings. We also this year had a fun little mini game within the game with cards. So the story this year was that the Inquisition, the invading force in the system, wanted to find a very specific piece of archaeotech. And so there was a mini game within the game where there was one card that represented the archaeotech that we wanted, and then there was 9 decoy cards. So if you had this card, you could choose to show it to your opponent to get a command point. But if you did that and lost, then you had to give the card to your opponent.
That's really cool.
Yes, but there were also recovery team cards that we handed out as well. So if somebody had a recovery team card and they found out that you had the device, then they could go and take your device card. And then the whole thing sort of went around. Yeah, it was a really super fun mini game within the game, and in the end, the team that actually had the device chose to blow up the entire system. So next year we have to start with a brand new narrative in a brand new place.
It's the only way to be sure.
You just got to blow it up. They've been stuck there for hundreds of years. It's the only way they can get out.
Yeah, exterminatus. It's the only way to be sure.
From the inside, though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fair.
They blew up the device. The device blew up the entire solar system.
Amazing. I love it. And it sounds like you had a lot of fun.
I did. I had a lot of fun. It's my favorite way to experience Warhammer. Everybody there just really understands the spirit of the game as well. And by the end of game one, everybody who is new, like probably over half of the people attending have attended a previous year. So by the end of game one, everybody kind of understands it. And then in game two, people are like begging you to come to the table and like mess stuff up. It's a really interesting dynamic. It's really fun. And when one person yells wah, everybody yells wah.
You're obliged. You're obliged.
You have to. You have to.
It's contractual. It should be part of the terms and conditions of the event. Like when you purchase the ticket, you sign up to WA in concert.
Yeah. And by the end of day two, like nobody has a voice left because you've been wahing so much. There's also one of the hidden secondary cards is to call a tournament organizer over and yell a wah, and then the organizer has to determine if it was good enough based off how many people yell back.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. So how much wah energy is generated by your card?
That's right. So some people did choose to take the chance and yell for the emperor instead, but they still, if they got enough people, they would be successful. So
I like that.
Yeah.
Did Chaos get a similar one, like for the Dark Gods, or?
Honestly, people were very sort of like loose on the rules of these. So if somebody wanted to do that, they absolutely could. We're not going to say no. You have you screaming whatever at the top of your lungs for a battle cry. It's just, can you get enough people to call back?
Fair. Wonder what Tyrannus would yell, like, gibberish.
Just like slippity sloppity sounds.
Yeah. The only one I would veto is if Skaven tried to do it. Like a Skaven speak, like, I don't know, you're a wah.
It'd be all high pitch.
It'd be gross.
It'd make your ears bleed. Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about the ATC. So Paul's on his way over there. He's going to be playing in the 5-player teams. He's playing his Blood Angel. And this is like the literal first tournament games of 11th edition being played this weekend, which is extremely exciting for all involved. But we're stepping right into teams 40k, which I'm really awesome to see that Games Workshop has a fully supported teams that they've as well, which everyone sounds like everyone's adopting pretty wholesale. Absolutely spectacular stuff. One of the nuances there, though, is that when you pick a team, every disposition in your team has to be different up until 5 players. So not only does your faction have to be different now, your disposition has to be different. So
that's fun.
It's even deeper than it was before, right?
Right.
It used to just be, we just have to make sure all the factions are different and you're good to go. But now you need to make sure your factions line up with the right players are playing the factions they're good at or want to play.
Right.
And then you have 5 unique, every disposition is taken. And so there's a lot more crafting of a team, like who gets purge, who's on take and hold, what faction are those, are they going to be fit for purpose, who's going to have to compromise and play some recon when their army might be better at purge but they're a stronger player, so you put them on one that's a little harder. It's just so cool. Paul is playing purge though, and
of course he is.
Paul's
nobody better.
Of course he is. Well, Paul usually is the captain of his team, and the captain thing to do would be like, okay, I'm very good on Blood Angels, I'm going to play one that's a little harder for me. And Paul's like, no, gimme, mine. Right now out of the game, I'm not sure how much you know about this.
I actually spent all day yesterday looking through them because I'm going to start army listing.
Nice. What do you think?
I don't really have any inspiration for guard at the moment. So for orcs, I'm going to continue on with my sort of goofy list idea that I played all of 8th and 9th, which is
Dreadmob.
Yeah, it's Dreadmob, but with Tactical Brigade.
And actually, that combo is pretty sick, right? Because you get Assault in TAC. Oh no, it's in Mordaki.
Right. This you get to advance and still do actions.
That's pretty handy.
Right. So I want to do 3 Gorkanauts with 3 mechs, and then I want to have 6 Storm Boys, 3 units of Commandos, 4 units of Gretchen, and some Defcoptas. And so I just basically want to go out and just like do actions and be annoying and be everywhere, and yet you still got 3 Gorkanauts that you have to deal with, because while they're not good, they still are a threat.
You have to respect them. You can't just they might not be like defile or powerful, but they like garner respect from your opponent. And I like the so you got a heavy MSU build around your 3 big Gorks. That sounds sick. That sounds really cool.
Sorry.
What dispositions are available to tactical and dread mob?
I believe is it reconnaissance? It's either, I think it's reconnaissance. I'm not too sure. I know it's one where you got to be everywhere doing actions.
All the things. And your build sounds like it's everywhere doing all the things. And that's going to be my hot tip to people. Pick the army you want to play, and then I think you pick your the disposition you want to build around, and then find the detachments. It's weird, like, because usually we would pick the faction and then the detachment, and now the disposition has kind of slotted itself in, because the disposition is how you play the game. It's how you get to play the game to generate your score, and so that kind of comes before the detachments. So you pick your faction, you pick how you want to play the game. Or I want to be an MSU, I want to be active all over the table, stuff like that. And then you pick the detachments that play that style, or you pick like, I want to play take and hold, so I'm going to play bigger, more durable units. You want to play purge the foe. You want to go out and get kills and trade. And it's really cool. And then you go and pick the detachments that make sense for the disposition, that makes sense for the faction, that makes sense to the way you feel like playing the game. And it's kind of a cool like chain of events now, like this roll down effect to get you where you want to be. It's really invigorated list design.
For me, I'm really inspired with orcs because I've never played orky, right? I've never been really hard, like big on pushing hard into melee and all that. I've always just sort of used orcs to focus on secondaries, go out and score stuff. And now with the dispositions, I feel like I have the ability to play orcs the way that I want to play. I got really, really excited when I saw these dispositions. And it makes this weird list sort of archetype that I've been developing over 2 editions potentially work better. And so I think I'm going to focus on this for a little bit until I get inspiration for Imperial Guard.
Yeah, it kind of it allows people to line up how they want to play the game, regardless of which faction they play. Obviously, some are going to do better than others. Like Eldari is going to play a lot of the action based better than they're going to play Purge, because they give up a lot. Can't always guarantee a lot of kills on demand. But then they go, they can still play take and hold pretty effectively. But then they go recon, disruption, or priority assets, and they're going to be kings of that. Even with like the current builds, let alone going all the way into the tank and trying to reinvent the wheel, which you absolutely can do. Right now, everyone's losing their minds over Purge the Foe, and I think it's not a trap, but everyone thinks Purge the Foe is the only good one, and that's because we're coming into the game with 10th edition and think.
Okay.
Purge the Foe pretty much plays 10th edition 40k, as in like I take objectives off you and kill your stuff, and I get points. It's like pretty.
I was looking through them, and I was like, oh, it is. From somebody who's like a very casual player, I was like, oh, Purge the Foe is really tempting because it doesn't seem like you have to do as much big brain thinky.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, oh, smooth brain play. That seems kind of like interesting to me right now. But at the same time, I know that's not necessarily the way that I most enjoy to play the game. So I might go that way with Guard because I like tanks, but we'll see once I get a few games under my belt with orcs.
And all I'm saying is everyone's running around Purge the Foe because it's the most similar to how we've been playing. And people are saying it's the only way to go. I disagree. I reckon there's plenty in this system. In fact, I think it's superb, and it's going to keep this edition interesting for a huge amount of time. Especially if at some point Games Workshop, like every 6 months, just kind of retweaks them a little bit, like changes a little bit of mission here, changes a little bit of mission there, because they all yin and yang with each other, which I think. I mean, I wonder how many hours went into just this mission structure, because you've got your mission and your opponent's mission, and they yin and yang against each other, where your opponent gets points for stopping you and you get points for stopping them, and it kind of just swirls around. It's absolutely sick. I'm not saying it's perfectly balanced. I haven't played enough to know yet, but I think this is really cool thing. That
I also kind of enjoy that it looks like you can play your game. And I mean this in the fact that if I build my list to play my game, I'm likely going to score points. I'm not entirely sure that there's going to be as many absolute point blowouts like
Yeah.
there was in 10th edition. It was sometimes a problem if you had like a less experienced player go into somebody who knew what they were doing. But I think now, as long as I build my list with the missions in mind, I'm probably still going to lose against that much better player, but I'll still be able to do things that I built my list to do.
Yeah, because there's like 3, sometimes 4 ways to score in a game just on your primary, and that's not counting the secondary. Whereas in 10th edition, like we had score lines that were like 100 to 29, and 10 of those points were you are painted.
Right.
That was a
There.
score line we could see in 10th edition. That seems so much more unlikely now, and that's what I don't think anybody ever want a game. I never want to go and play a game, especially at a tournament where I feel like I didn't get. And one of the other things I love is like the jail strategies were so popular in 10th edition because it would just lock you out of both the secondary deck and scoring significant primary. Maybe you still hold your expansion, but you never get the middle, you never get to their expansion, stuff like that. Whereas now you can just hold your cards. So even at the worst, the turn like 3 or 4 when you break out of the jail, you can just go bang, 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 and take away 30 secondaries by getting 15, 15, 4, and 5, and you just save them all up in the bank. That feels so much cooler. Like, oh no, I went second versus too many gargoyles. I guess I don't get to play the movement phase for 3 turns. That sucked. That was not fun.
Yeah, I'm excited. I have my first game lined up this weekend, and then hopefully I'll be on my way to understanding more about my own disposition.
Sick. Well, on that note, I think we'll wrap up this segment. We're going to go and hear from our sponsor, Discount Games Inc. that Paul's pre-recorded for us, and we'll be right back with another segment straight after that with myself and Tanya.
FTN is brought to you by Discount Games Inc. Please visit them at www.discountgamesinc.com. And don't forget to ask Jay about ways to save even more on your hobby projects.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to a very special vendor spotlight. Jay from Discount Games. People have heard you talked about there in the bumper. It's been a while since we actually spoke on air, but welcome back to the show.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Look, the edition is kicking off, and I know it's got everybody very excited about it. And I know as people start to play around with the disposition, start to maybe mess with their army list, some new points, just got changed, that people may want to get their hands on some additions, some reinforcements for their factions, and figured, why not direct them to one of the best places out there in the independent sphere to get some stuff, and that is through our sponsor. So hopefully we can talk about that. I know you got some Armageddon boxes and stuff still that people can get their hands on.
Yeah, you bet. There's a few things I wanted to hopefully let your listeners know about. First off, we do have Armageddon boxes still available. We tried to stock up pretty heavy on those. We did a post on our social media of like the stack of boxes that we got in, and it's pretty. That was a pretty busy receiving day.
I bet. Well, it's an awesome set. I mean, some of the places you can get their hands on the figures for the first time. I know it's like with these launch boxes, they're just an incredible value. And then when it's got actually new stuff in it too, which is pretty neat. But y'all are a like full service game provider, right? I mean, y'all got all kind of stuff.
Yeah, you bet. Our website focuses mainly on miniature games and hobby supplies at discountgamesinc.com. So obviously the biggest one is going to be the Games Workshop products, but we have everything from War Machine to the new StarCraft minis game is up on pre-sale. So there's lots of stuff that it's a lot of people play more than one game system, and we're here to try to sell you whatever you need.
Well, it's nice to be able to get all that stuff in one spot sometimes, for sure. And I know that I'm a brewer as far as like list goes. I like to always tinker around with things, and I know I found myself feeling like, oh, this is going to put me. So the way, I mean, everyone knows this by now, but the way the game works is the dispositions help you determine what your primary missions are, and so now the primary missions may have you feeling like you need some different tools in your army list. And that may mean either going back to your hobby shelf, but also maybe going back to the hobby store and picking up either a different type of unit or increasing the size of a unit that you've already got for that efficiency, that we crave as
So
tournament players.
My store does try to keep every single Games Workshop model in stock that is available to the retail partners. There are times, obviously, where an item's out of stock with us and out of stock with Games Workshop, and it'll take us a little while to restock it. But in a perfect world, we would have every item in stock all the time. But we try to do the best that we can.
Logistics and supply chain management. It's
yeah, that's right. One other thing one thing we started doing since we last talked with each other, Games Workshop kind of changed their pre-order system a little bit for them to try to gauge demand from their customers and kind of spread out demand when there's a hot release. So that in the old system, it used to be like if you had a early call, you could get the product you needed, and if you were a later call, then you were probably going to get nothing. And so they've updated their system, but the way that what that means for customers is Games Workshop will, on Sundays, they do their previews for stuff on the Warhammer community page on Sunday, and we'll do a post on our social medias about it as well. And if there's items that customers are interested in and they send me an email, that helps me gauge how much demand there is for a product, and then I'll place my order for the items on Tuesday, and then everyone who emailed me, I'll make an order for them before the listing goes live on Saturday morning. And so it helps me because it helps me know which items are going to be popular, but it also there's you've been playing the game long enough that that there's certain releases where it's super hard to get.
They can be
a new release sometimes. And so, if customers reach out to me, it's a way for you to, hopefully secure a popular item before you're going to have to start fighting for it at other places.
So when they hear about it, they should reach out to you.
Yeah, you want to
try to get on the list.
Yeah, so full disclosure, we fulfill those. Let's say that I still get allocated sometimes, and so let's say that I try to order 20 of an item and I get allocated 15. I will fulfill those in the order that people contacted me, and so the earlier you contact me, the more likely you are to actually get the item. Most of the time, we're able to fulfill all of the pre-order requests, and it's a very seamless. People don't have to worry about making their own order. They just have to let me know what they want, and I'll make it for them. And so,
and you actually, I think you incentivize folks that order through you.
So in general, we sell our items at 15% off. That's the maximum discount that Games Workshop allows us to offer online for our products, for their products. But if people meet certain criteria, they can get a rebate on their order. And so if people shoot me an email at jay@discountgamesinc.com, I can send you the info on what you have to do to qualify for a rebate. It's super easy to meet the qualifications. So if you're basically leaving money out there on the table if you're not taking advantage of it.
All right. Well, Jay, I'm really glad you came on, and thanks a lot for supporting us and the show. So hopefully people do reach out to you. As again, I do know that this, there's always something coming out that's going to catch people's eye, and then this is a big transition period in the edition change, which has got people, tinkering with things that. So I thought it would be cool to bring you on and talk about that a little bit, just to maybe help folks out. So, but I want to issue again sincere thanks for supporting us. All the time for a long time, and it means a whole lot, and really glad to talk to you again.
Yeah, you bet. I mean, at this point, I've been sponsoring your show. I'm not sure how many years, but it's been quite a while. And, it's nice every time I get an email from someone saying that, the reason why they checked out the store was because they watch your show. So
it means a whole lot, man. Well, have a great rest of your night, and we'll talk again soon.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're listening to Forge the Narrative.
Welcome back, everybody. If you're just tuning in on YouTube, you can head on over and check out the first segment, which should have been put up yesterday. And if you're watching or listening to us on a podcast platform, then you just heard Paul talking to our sponsor, Discount Games. And welcome back. Adam, we wanted to talk about setting goals for the new edition. Have you set yourself any goals?
I have. I'm about 8 games into 11th edition. I'm not quite feeling like I'm at that. I still feel very much a beginner at it, despite having like foreknowledge and all these things and reading over the rules ahead of time and stuff like that. I'd like to get like 10 more games, or actually 12 more games. I'd like to get to 20 games within the next like month. So that means like 2 or 3 games a week in the next month or so, maybe 6 weeks at a stretch goal before Tacoma, which is happening in about a month's time, because I need to be confident enough at the game that I can cast at Tacoma, which is the first big Games Workshop open for 11th edition. So that's my first goal.
Okay.
You want to do one?
My goals are a little bit more, I guess, esoteric this time. I have been a chronic person for hobby burnout. And so I want to set myself a goal of playing at least 1 game a week. But I want each list that I make to be made off of what I have painted and not necessarily to chase the meta. So a game a week without stress painting for a year. That's what I want to do.
Nice.
Yeah.
My next one is to solidify myself as one of the better players on my chosen factions, which is going to come in time, and it's not like it's a hopeful goal, not something it's going to be a make or break. I'm with you. Actually, I'm a little unenthused about Guard. I was really hoping to switch back to Guard in 11th edition, but I'm more excited to stay on my Knights, both Chaos Knights and Imperial Knights. I'm going to play the hell out of Chaos Knights, actually, because Battle Shock might matter again. So maybe they have an army rule. So really excited to play a lot more Chaos Knights. And there's a huge amount of iteration to be had within that faction. Like the playbook is wide open. And I might head back to Dark Angels. Yeah.
Your boys.
My boys, my sweet boys. Because bikes and speeders. Yes. It was a time where they would claw my Deathwing Knights out of my cold dead hands, and now I'm like, never heard of you. Blacks all the way. Let's go.
Right. I do want to eventually get back to Imperial Guard, but I want to approach Imperial Guard almost completely narratively this edition, because I've started writing like an entire journal of
Nice.
lore from different events that I've gone to and different games that I've played. And so I have a proxy model for my army as well that represents me on the battlefield. And I just really want to sort of explore this aspect of wargaming a little bit. And I really think that we can thank the play on narrative for that, just showing me this whole new world of Warhammer 40K and how to enjoy games at the table. And so I really want to focus that way for Imperial Guard once I get some inspiration in these detachments and start making them.
Sick. It's weird, right? So when I heard about the dispositions and some of the stuff, I was so keen to go back to how I like to play Guard, which is dudes in boxes.
Right.
Dudes in boxes is my jam. But there's been so many changes to the core rules. I mean, we came out of a transport edition almost. Transports were one of the defining aspects. I'm not sure if it's on purpose or just something they've chosen to do. But transports feel a lot worse in 11th edition. And so I'm not ready to jump on that yet until I've learned more about how transports have changed. And so that's how I want to play Guard. I just need to get better at the game so I can make that feel like a comfortable transition for myself.
That's interesting too, because I am not entirely sure about the way that I like to play Guard too, because I really enjoy like a combined arms style of gameplay, but the disposition for Grizzled doesn't excite me. So I'm going to have to look at different ways of playing a combined arms style list that isn't Grizzled. So as soon as I get the inspiration, I'm going to head into army list building as I look over at my army that's sitting on the shelf lonely and staring at me. I'll be back, I promise.
I get that feeling as well. Like I have a bunch of like I open my drawers because I've got a big chest of drawers, and each level of the chest of drawers has a full army in it. And I was opening them up looking for a bit, and opened up, the Dark Angels have 2 drawers. The Guard have 3 drawers, by the way. I opened it up and I was just like, oh,
I miss you.
I miss you guys. Hi, I'm still here. I still love you. You want to hear something tragic? I haven't built the lion. I haven't built him.
Adam, why?
I know, because I've been waiting for the spark. I've been finishing. Because when the lion dropped, I'd already decided I was going to dedicate my night arm. And then it felt like I'd be cheating on it to go back to the lion. And so I've left it there as a totem of inspiration. Like when I'm ready to rededicate myself, I'll use that as like my, oh boy, Lion L. Johnson. I get to do the thing as like my passion lifting, seesaw.
I kind of understand not wanting to tackle that while you're kind of like on a completely different meta journey. Like you want to devote enough time to that model so that it's, the proper leader of your entire force.
Exactly right. Not when my heart's in a different place. Yeah.
That's right. Do you have any hobby goals for the new edition?
Yes, I want to get my Chaos Knights up and going. I've got enough. So I have a wonderful friend who's gone to live overseas for a couple of years, and he's left me all his war dogs. And I have another lovely friend who just gave me one of his big Chaos Knights that he did as a hobby project that I touch up to make look more like my knights. So I've got enough Chaos Knights, but they don't all look the same, and that hurts me. And while I'm happy to play Warhammer and sit on a mate's army and play with his models, they're still not. So I want to get the rest of my Chaos Knights done. Also, one of the things that annoys me and has annoyed me about Chaos Knights and Imperial Knights, like I just finished painting a Subductor squad and a Rogue Trade Entourage with a unit of Imperial Navy breaches. And I'm like, it's and a couple of assassins I just finished up as well. And I'm like, these aren't Imperial Knights. And I realized with the Chaos Knight army is going to come me needing to paint some demons. And I'm wondering if I just draw a line in the sand for myself and say, Chaos Knights, no, I only play Chaos Knights, mono Chaos. I'll see how my competitive juices sit with that.
That's funny. So you're thinking about adding some demons just for like action monkeys, or?
Correct, for utility units. Yeah, just get some units that are a bit lower to the ground. It's been very necessary for Chaos Knights pretty much always to have like an allies option. If you can windmill slam a little bit of tech in there as well, some tech pieces to kind of change a couple of the interactions. A lot of the time for Chaos Knights, it was to give you more battle shock tests, because they gave you all the rules to make things that are battle shock, like hurt you less and you hurt them more and all these other bits and pieces. They didn't give you enough dang ways to make people take the test. So that may be where I end up as well, because things like Demon Nest, Sloppity Bile Pipers, some of the Poxbringer and stuff like that can just be point and click battle shocks, which were good before, but even better now.
Right. For myself, for my hobby stuff, I really just want to paint models that excite me.
Yes.
I really just don't want to chase any meta. I need like a full-on at least a year break where I'm not paying attention to like anything at all like that. So I'm painting a Shadow Sword, and that's going to be done. Sick. And then I know it's looking so good too. I'm so happy with it. It's like a burgundy and yellow. Yeah. And then after that, I think I'm going to paint more Bulgrin, because why not?
They are a good time. They are a very good timing.
Yeah. They're one of my favorite units, and like the ones that I have now, I painted like 7 years ago, so they look good. But I'm just like, I have to do better now. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Yeah.
Well, on that note, Tanya, we might wrap up this episode. Hope that you guys have enjoyed all of the segments. This will be the closing one. We had, Tanya brought us in on the intro. We talked about where Paul is, what he's doing. Then we had our beautiful spotlight segment with one of our beautiful sponsors,
Discount Games.
Discount Games. I was about to say, games discount, but the different one. We're going to wrap this one up. Chuck in your 11th edition goals in the comment section of this video. Thank you so much for your incredible support. Like, share, subscribe, all those good things. Leave us 5-star reviews if you are so inclined. Tanya, it's been a great episode. A bit weird to do it without our handler, Paul.
Our handler. That is the perfect description for Paul.
Yeah,
but he'll be back in the next one, and we wish him good luck at the ATs.
Take care, guys. Look after each other. Enjoy some 11th edition.
And we'll see you later.
tenets demand you tune in next week. For the greater good, of course.